I have a question from Facebook from Christina Diane Farmer, who says, Senator Sanders, you're known for your advocacy against private prisons. Opponents to your position on the issue have argued that private prisons are in fact beneficial due to instances in which they cost the government less money to operate than government-run prisons. In instances where private prisons are more cost-effective, how do you justify putting them out of business to replace them with more costly government-run prisons?
Well, first of all, I don't know that I agree with Diane's basic assertion that private prisons are more cost-effective. But let me also tell you, Diane, there are instances, hard to believe, true, took place in Pennsylvania, where judges were sending kids to private jails and getting a kickback for doing that. Now, I'm not saying that happens all of the time, but the bottom line is you do not want to incentivize the system to be locking people up. If I'm a private prison, what do I want? I want more prisoners. I want types of laws which result in more people being locked up. So I do not believe, for a dozen different reasons, that corporations should be making money off of locking our people up. I want to see incentives to get our people out of jail, incentives to make sure our people do not get into jail, not a situation where people are making more and more money based on more and more people ending up in jail.
There's a great deal of excitement from the audience and others when you announced that you want to see American citizens be able to get higher education for free. The question is, how does a Sanders administration pay for that?
Oh, I forgot about that. I knew I forgot something. No, okay. Here's the point. Now, let me be very frank with you. As I think those of you who may know a little bit about me know that my type of politics is a little bit different than other people running for president. I look at the world in a little different way, and this is how I start. When I talk about economic issues, I start off with the understanding that in the last 30 years, there has been a massive redistribution of wealth in America. Do you all know that? Problem is, the redistribution has gone in the wrong direction. What we have seen is trillions of dollars flowing from the hands of working families and the middle class, ending up into the hands of the top 1/10 of 1%. Last 30 years, the top 1/10 of 1% has seen a doubling of the percentage of wealth that it owns, a doubling of wealth. So I start with the view that at a time when the wealthiest people in this country are doing phenomenally well, when you have huge corporations making extraordinary profits, and in some cases paying zero in federal taxes, when you have bailed out Wall Street as a result of their greed and recklessness, I pay for free tuition in public colleges and universities through a tax on Wall Street speculation. That's how I pay for that.
I want to get the last question from the audience, from Taraji Lester, who is the Benedict College student body president.
Hey.
Hi, Taraji. We just chatted earlier today.
Yes, we did. I want to know how will we have an America where Black Lives Matter by the end of your first term as president in the year 2020?
I'm sorry, Taraji, stay a little bit closer into the mic, please.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I want to know how will we have an America where Black Lives Matters and by the first term of the president, how would it happen?
Okay. How it would happen, as I've just indicated, is that for a start, we would make this issue a major issue in my administration. In other words, it's not something we would push aside. It's an issue that we would bring the country together and say, in the following many ways, we are going to end the absurdity, the horror, the embarrassment of unarmed black men and women and children being killed by police officers or in police custody. We are going to bring about sweeping reforms of police departments all over this country. So to answer your question, it becomes for us a major priority in a Sanders administration.
Last question I have for you.
I thought that
Senator.
was the last question.
I said last question from the audience.
Oh, I got.
So,
Just kidding.
We've looked at the numbers, and everyone is doing a poll every other week. Some of us believe those polls, some of us don't. Do you think there's going to be a turn for you in this state of South Carolina? And what do you want to say to
Sure.
the people of South Carolina
Thank you.
In that space?
Okay. Let me say this. I began this campaign close to 7 months ago. My guess is, somebody correct me if you think I'm wrong, probably 80–90% of the people in South Carolina did not know who the junior senator from the state of Vermont was. That a fair statement? All right, I know you've all been following my career for dozens of years, but one of two of you may not have. All right, so we started, and you know what the first poll was? Nationally, had us at 3%. 3%. We're running against one of the best known people in the world. Forget America, in the world. All right? What has happened in the last 6 or 7 months is that based on the last poll we saw in New Hampshire, we are ahead by a little bit. We are probably behind in Iowa today, but not by much. And we're going to do well in Nevada. We are going to do well here in South Carolina. We're not doing well right now. I'm the first to admit it. And I think the reason is that we have got to get our message out, and we're doing it. You're going to hear Reg, who introduced me. You're going to hear his beautiful voice on your radio stations throughout South Carolina. And you're going to see people knocking on doors throughout South Carolina. We believe from the bottom of my heart that the message that we have in terms of criminal justice issues that we discussed today, in terms of economic issues, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, providing health care to all people as a right, making public colleges and universities tuition free, addressing the crisis of childhood poverty. I believe that those issues will resonate all over South Carolina. And by the time Election Day comes, we're going to do very, very well in this state.
Senator, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it very much.
Okay, great.